Welcome, everyone. It's cartoons. These are cartoons of how not to chant. That's what the PowerPoint's about. How not to chant. We'll have some fun with the PowerPoint. I think we should chant one round to start with. And that way, anyone who comes late won't miss the PowerPoint. Is that a good idea? You want to chant a round? Okay, I'm going to give you a meditation. Hold on a second. I think we did this meditation before, that if Krishna came to you, knock, 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 who's there? Krishna. Oh, really? Can I come in? Okay, Krishna, come in. And Krishna says, what do you want? I'll give you anything you want. And then we're going to chant, praying to Krishna for what we want. We're going to answer that question with a Maha Mantra through a prayer. So, we're going to pray for something spiritual through the Maha Mantra. So before you start chanting, just think, if Krishna said, what do you want? What would you say? Well, why don't some of you tell me what you're thinking of right now? If Krishna asked you what you want, what would you say? If you could ask him for anything, what would you ask for? Radha, Bishwas, Kemonache.
Yes, you guessed it. I was a Bengali. My dad is. Anyway, so I think definitely I would ask to be in Goloka Vrindavan with him and
Okay.
be with him, but maybe like another just one material desire would be.
What's your material desire?
So I'm in this like math contest and I want to win it. So
Oh.
well, I am working really hard, but
Okay, that's a good point. Because when we chant, we shouldn't ask for anything material unless what we're asking for is going to help us spiritually. Then we can ask. Like if winning the math contest is going to make you world famous, and then you think, well, I'll be so famous, everyone will listen to anything I say. And when they ask me, how did I become so good at math, I can tell them, because I chant Hare Krishna, that's how. And so then you could use it for Krishna's service. But if it's just for you, just because you like to win and be number one, then using the holy name for that purpose, not good. Because we should only use the holy name for coming closer to Krishna. So you can think about that. Thank you. So anyone else? What would you pray for? Someone want to suggest? You can raise your hand. I'll call on you. Yes, Keshav.
So, I would pray to become a Gopa,
Oh.
but one material desire would be that, like, I wrote a rap on Bhagavad Gita, and I want to write more rap, and I want to make better raps.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not material. That's also spiritual. That's as long as it's for service. So you want to be a cowherd boy. That's your desire? Sometimes,
Can you just repeat the question?
what would you ask Krishna for if he gave you anything? So, Radha said she would ask to go back to Godhead. Keshav said he would ask if he could become a cowherd boy. Or he wants to play with Krishna. If you want that, Keshav, you'll get it. He'll give it to you. If you want to go back to Godhead, Radha, he'll give it to you. Whatever you ask, he'll give. But if you ask for something that's not going to help your relationship, he may not give it because it would harm you. And the holy name specifically is a prayer to come closer to Krishna. So therefore it's said when we chant, we shouldn't ask for anything material unless that's going to help us in our service or help us come closer. Yes, Radha, you have a question? Or
Yeah, I'm just asking if this is true. Sometimes, a lot of the times actually, I get dreams that I am like the most powerful girl and I make everybody devotees. And the people who are already devotees help me. And then everybody becomes devotees and then everybody becomes vegetarian and then the world is so good. And we all believe in Krishna. So sometimes I have those dreams. I don't know. And sometimes I really want them to be true. I mean, always.
well, you can. That's an amazing dream, and you can translate that dream into a prayer. Krishna, please empower me to make other people Krishna conscious. And that empowerment can be, give me the purity, or give me the intelligence, the desire, the strategy, the energy, anything to help other people become Krishna conscious. So you could definitely pray that way. And I hope your dream becomes true. The world will be a lot better. And I'm sure you will make many people Krishna conscious in your life because you have that desire. And you can, I pray a lot like that when I chant, to have the ability to help people. Because it's a spiritual empowerment. It's not something material. If you're going to help someone become Krishna conscious, you have to be Krishna conscious also, right? Because they're going to follow your example. So you can pray to be a good example, to be stronger as a devotee. When people saw Lord Chaitanya, they started chanting just by seeing him. And sometimes that happens when a devotee is very advanced, and people see them and they start chanting. The devotee doesn't even have to ask. The people just see them. And that happened a lot with Prabhupada, that people would see him. They'd come to the temple, they'd see him, and they'd never leave the temple. It'd just become brahmachari or brahmacharini, just by seeing Prabhupada once, not even knowing about Krishna consciousness. So when you become pure, you have that effect on people, like fire burns. So you can pray like that, Radha, to have that potency. Keshav, you had a question? Yes.
So I just wanted to add something to like what Radha was saying, that she wants to be empowered.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a little bit empowered since I write songs about like books like about
Okay,
Krishna
that's nice.
consciousness. And plus I have lots of ideas on how to go into book distribution without getting affected of coronavirus, but I know how to do it, but I can't accomplish it.
Well, that's okay, but you can figure out how to do it in other ways, or just write more songs. Or, the devotees who couldn't go out on book distribution had to figure out how to do it. So they were calling up people they had met before, asking them if they want more books. And you can use your creative intelligence, right? Figure out how to do it. So that's good. Okay, Samskruti.
Is it okay to like pray for good grades?
Is it okay to pray for good grades? Yes and no. It's better to study so you get good grades. You see, the thing is, if you have a very good... Okay, I'll tell you a story. Maybe this will help you. Do you know what a go-kart is? You know those little carts, they have wheels like this big and they're motorized? You've seen those? So when I was a kid, I had a friend. You want the tape? Yeah. Hold on a second. So I had a friend, and we must have been like 15. So 15, you can't drive yet. And he had a go-kart. And it was like, I don't know, for girls, you may not be excited about go-karts, but for boys, you know, that's pretty exciting, isn't it? Like, if any of you could ride a go-kart, boys, you'd be like, wow, let's do it, right? So we used to go over to his house, and we'd say, can we ride your go-kart? So we didn't want to go out just to be with him. We didn't go to his house to be with him. We'd go to his house so we could ride his go-kart. Other than that, we didn't like to hang out. So it's the same with Krishna. It's like if you approach him, hey, Krishna, I ride your go-kart, So Krishna, he loves us, so he just wants us to love him. And in love, you don't ask anything. So if your friend comes to your house and says, hey, can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can you do this? You'll start thinking, well, what's going on? What kind of friend is that? They just want to take, right? So my general suggestion, of course, is you can always pray to Krishna for anything, because he's the supreme controller. But generally, the understanding is when you're chanting, you're supposed to be praying for pure devotional service, something like that, right? So, Samskruti, you can say, Krishna, please help me remember all the answers. Because Krishna is the source. Krishna is the source of memory, right? So, say, Krishna, I need to do well in school. And then if you think, okay, doing well in school is going to help me in my devotional service, then pray to Krishna to help you. But it's kind of funny if you think about it, right? Sometimes people, they pray to Krishna for health. Krishna, help me become healthy. And they have a really bad diet, and everything they're eating is making them sick. So imagine you were Krishna, and someone just ate junk food, and they were really sick, and they never exercised. And you were Krishna, and that person was praying to you, please make me healthy. What would you think? If you were Krishna, and they're praying to you to be healthy, and you're sitting on the altar and saying, please help me be healthy, and everything they're eating is making them sicker and sicker every day. What would you want to tell them? You'd want to tell them, eat healthy, right? Isn't it? So, I want good grades. Well, what's the best way to get good grades? Actually pay attention in class and study, right? So we don't want to think, oh, Krishna, I'll just be lazy and you help me get good grades. We don't want to do that, right? But you may want to pray. Say, Krishna, I've tried really hard, just help me remember. That's fine. But specifically when we're chanting, we should pray for something more directly in relationship to our relationship with Krishna. Does that make sense? Because that's what the Maha Mantra was not given to the world so people could progress materially. Okay, here's the Maha Mantra. Chant this mantra, you'll become rich, you'll become famous, you'll get good grades, you'll have more friends, more likes on Facebook. That's not what the Maha Mantra was created for. It was created to get closer to Krishna, right? So it's natural that we would pray to Krishna sometimes when we're in distress, of course, or when we need help. That's natural. Okay, someone else want to tell us what they would pray for? Yes, Maria and Krisha. Yes. You want to say something? Okay. What would you pray for?
I will pray for would pray for to get out of Maya and be
Oh. Get out of Maya, and what was the second one?
to be in Krishna conscious.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. That's actually what the Maha Mantra means. Krishna, help me. You know, if you wanted to summarize what the Maha Mantra means, you would just say, it means help me. Krishna, I need help to get out of Maya. Aradhya Gopi, where are you? You disappeared. Aradhya Gopi, you had your hand up?
Yes.
Okay. You're not Aradhya Gopi, or are you? You are?
Yes.
Okay, good. What would you pray for?
I would wish I would ask Krishna for 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 me learning Sanskrit so I could easily worship him.
You would pray to have the ability or have the facility or both? The ability and facility to learn Sanskrit. That's what you want? Is that correct?
Second, study of the Shastra.
Nice. To help you study Shastra. Very good. I'd also like to learn Sanskrit. Maybe I should pray for that also. I have to pray for Krishna to create more time in the day, so I have time to learn. All right. Who else wants to?
I wanted to say something in last class.
But now we're talking about answering the question of what we would pray for if we saw Krishna. So you can maybe at the end of the class you can share what you wanted to share.
Okay.
Someone else wants to share? Sri. Okay, I have to read this. Sri Dimanta. Okay. Sri
You
Dimanta.
could just call me Dimanta.
Dimanta. Okay. Yes.
I would like to be lifelong friends with Balaram and Krishna.
So you want to be a cowherd boy also, I think. Is that right?
Not mostly like that, like be close friends.
Yeah. Well, friends, that's called Sakyaras,
Yeah.
as opposed to a mother or a father or a lover. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good desire. Like I said, if you have that desire, Krishna will help you.
I would ask Krishna for entrance to Vrindavan.
Oh, nice. To be able to go to Vrindavan, to live there, or live eternally there, or all three.
All three.
Yeah, that's a good desire. And also, Karuna, you can pray to be qualified to enter Vrindavan. Maybe that's what you meant also.
Yeah, I was planning to go to the mountain of Shiva when I get older.
Govardhan's a better mountain. Pray to Krishna to give you qualification to enter Vrindavan.
Why not both?
What's that?
I would say I would go to Shiva's
Yes.
abode and Govardhan.
Yeah, Gopishwar, Mahadev in Vrindavan, Lord Shiva. Okay, Radha wants to say something again.
In follow-up question to Samskriti's question, if you get good grades all the time and be always good, then you would be like getting into good colleges, and then if you get into good colleges, you would probably be famous, and then you can use that in service to Krishna. So
If that's how you think, it's okay. If you think like that, or you get a good job, make a lot of money, you can give a lot of money to devotional projects. Yeah, if you think like that, then it's okay, because it's in relation to Krishna. But if it's just, I want to get good grades, so I get a good job, so I have a lot of money, so I can enjoy life, build a big house, and be happy for myself, the Maha Mantra is not for that. You could do that. You work hard, you go to school, you can do that. But Krishna wants you to ask him how you can love him. That's what he wants to help you with. And sometimes, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes if you want something and Krishna knows it's going to not be good for your spiritual life, he won't give it to you, even if you ask. Did you know that? Because sometimes if you get what you want, it could actually be a problem for you. It may backfire. And so Krishna knows that, and he'll say, no, I won't give it to you. He'll say, I want to be the most famous movie actress in the universe. Or I want to be the most famous writer, or whatever. But if the desire isn't pure, Krishna may think, well, if that happens, I could not think he wouldn't, if your desire is not pure, or you're not mature enough in your spiritual life, Krishna may know that if that happened, you would forget him, and he wouldn't let it happen. Even if it's your karma, he wouldn't let it happen because he would protect you. But if Krishna knows that you can use it properly, then why not? He can help you. Okay, so let's chant one round now. And we're all going to think of what we would ask Krishna for help with. Hopefully, you understand now that help should be something spiritual. We had some good examples of here, going to Vrindavan, becoming Krishna's friend. That could mean being Krishna's mother, being Krishna's lover, having the qualifications to enter Vrindavan, being empowered. These are all good. But it should be personal, whatever you're feeling, not what someone else is feeling. And so as you pray, as you chant, pray for something that will help you become a better devotee. And so we'll chant about one round, and then when we finish, I'll tell you, and then we'll start our slideshow.
Prabhuji, we'll have question answers, no?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, at the end. We'll have questions and answers at the end. And then we have a comment here. I would like to pray to Krishna for attraction to his holy names. Yeah, that's a great desire. Pray for attraction. Pray, Krishna, please reveal your holy names. Please give me a taste. I do that a lot when I chant.
I will ask him something different from what I said before. That
Okay.
if I could dance for him, very nice. I'm already learning how to dance Damodarashtakam.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask him if I could dance like super fancy.
Okay. Pray for the power to dance for him. Okay. So let's chant, everybody. Are you ready? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Okay, we can stop. I wanted to share with you something that I think will help you a lot. Krishna wants you to become Krishna conscious. So he's on your side. Of course, Maya is there to try to divert us. Right? Maya is always trying to confuse us and bewilder us. But Krishna, he wants us to go back to him. And Prabhupada said he wants us to go more than we want to go. And Prabhupada said, if you take one step to Krishna, he'll take 10. Sometimes Prabhupada said 100, I believe. You do one thing, he'll do 10 times more to reciprocate. So, when we sincerely pray for something spiritual, and we pray continually, and we remain sincere, you should know for sure Krishna will eventually fulfill your desire. Like some of you said, I want to be a Gopa. Krishna will fulfill that desire, if that's what you want, if that's in your heart. So whatever's in your heart that you want sincerely, that you continually ask Krishna for, he'll always give it to you. He'll always help you. So he's always there. No matter what problem you have, no matter how difficult it is, Krishna will always help you if you're sincere. That's for sure a fact. And don't forget that, because sometimes in your life, you're going to be in difficult situations and you're going to need help. Maybe you won't have the strength to deal with it, or maybe you won't have the intelligence to deal with it. Maybe you won't have the ability to deal with it. And then you'll remember, oh yes, Mahatma Prabhu said, if I sincerely pray to Krishna, he will help me. This is Krishna's promise. Ye yata mam prapadyante. How many of you know that verse? Ye yata mam prapadyante tam stadaive bhajamyaham. Mama vartmano vartante manusya partha sarvasha. That means, as you approach me, I approach you. But really, as we're saying, what Krishna is saying to the devotee is, as you approach me, I will approach you 10 times more. I will take 10 steps towards you for every step you take towards me. So, when you chant, you should be asking Krishna for help, and you should know that he will help you. But he may not help you as fast as you want it, or exactly as you want it, because it takes time. Right? It takes time to clean a pot, right? Especially if the pot is really dirty. So we're a little bit like dirty pots. It takes time to clean, but Krishna will definitely help you. So don't ever lose faith, because Krishna is always there. Now, there's something I was thinking while we were chanting that we haven't done yet before I do the slideshow. Hopefully we'll get to the slideshow. I don't think I ever taught you actually how to pronounce the Mahamantra. Did we ever have a class where I actually taught you how to pronounce it? So what's interesting is that depending on the country we're from, and perhaps depending on where our parents are from also, because your parents may be from India and you're born in Europe or America, but depending on the country we're from, we tend to pronounce Krishna a little differently. Have you noticed that? That some people say it differently. And even in India, if you go to different parts of India, they'll say the name Krishna differently. You go to the south, it's more like Krishna. If you go to Bengal, it's Kisno. Hare Kisno. Right, Radha? Hare Kisno. Yes? Kisno. Ramo. Hare Kisno. Hare Ramo. That sounds a strange way to pronounce Hare Krishna, right? Hare Kisno. Hare Ramo. So I'm going to teach you how to pronounce. Okay? So you have to keep muted, but I will say the mantra and you pronounce it after me, okay? Hare. And you say Hare. Krishna. Hare. Krishna. Now when I say Krishna, put your tongue on top of the roof when you do the S. Hare Krishna. 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 Hare. 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 Rama. Hare. Rama. 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 Hare. Hare. So that Rama is it's a long A. The first A is long and the last A is short. Rama. And sometimes devotees chant Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Have you heard that? Prabhupada said that's okay also. Either Rama, the proper Sanskrit is Rama, Hare Rama. But Ram is okay. Okay, Radha, you had a question?
Okay. So it's like, because some people in Bengal, some people cannot just pronounce it right, because how their tongue and like the region.
Their accent, yeah.
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 So and there are like a billion accents in the world. So how can we all get to the same accent
Yeah.
and that stuff?
You know, I think from my experience, there are certain people in certain countries that actually can't, it's very difficult to pronounce it properly. It's very, very difficult. But I have a story for you. And the story will teach us that even if we don't pronounce it properly, it's okay. We should try to pronounce it properly, but if we can't because of our accent, it's okay. You want to hear the story?
Yes,
It's kind of funny story, but it's
Yes, Prabhuji.
very important. So one man said to Prabhupada that I've heard your devotees chanting and they're not pronouncing the Maha Mantra properly. Because he was a Sanskrit scholar, so he wanted everyone to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we were chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. That's how we were chanting. We're all Americans. So he's listening to us chant and he's like, this is wrong. This is not good. So Prabhupada said something really important for us. The man says, your disciples are not chanting properly. And Prabhupada said, yes, I know. He said, but Krishna knows who they're calling. So like Krishna knows your heart. So even if your tongue doesn't pronounce it properly, Krishna knows what's in your heart. Isn't that interesting? So I'm chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama. But you see, I'm sincere. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. And you can see I'm really sincere. And I'm pronouncing it, technically speaking, I'm not even chanting the Maha Mantra. I'm chanting, who knows what I'm chanting. Right? Just, some devotees I've heard chant Whamma. Hare Whamma. Whamma, Ram, Whamma. Have you heard that? Whamma, Whamma. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. It's like, what's going on here? But the real thing is what's in the heart. That Krishna knows what's in your heart. So when you chant and you pray to Krishna, he knows what's going on. And whether you chant it perfectly perfect, doesn't matter. Now, do you know that if you have a Vedic mantra and you don't pronounce it properly, the mantra has no power. Did you know? Have you heard stories like that? They'd chant a mantra and that would give an animal a new life, and the animal would walk in the fire. You would chant the mantra, Om, and you would chant it perfectly, whatever the mantra was, and the animal would come out with a new body. But if you chanted the mantra wrong, the animal would just burn in the fire. So, in order to chant a Vedic mantra, first you have to be initiated as a Brahmin and have Upanayanam, which in ancient culture, I don't even think most of the women didn't even get that. So in ancient times, you may not, and if you weren't a Brahmin, okay, even if they gave to women, but if you weren't a Brahmin, if you weren't born in a pure Brahmin family, you wouldn't get initiation, and therefore you wouldn't get the mantra. And if you had the mantra and you weren't initiated, it wouldn't work. So you had to, did you know that? It's not like you can just get the mantra and it'll work. You have to get it through initiation from a real guru. And then you have to chant it perfectly. Om Purnam Adaha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adhaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. And if it's Vasishyate, and I said Vasishyate, mantra doesn't work. Of course, those mantras are philosophical, but just as an example, if the syllable is supposed to be long, Om Adaha, and I said Om Adaha, mantra doesn't work. What to speak, I'm not initiated. What to speak, I'm not even born in a Brahmin family. So the Maha Mantra, it's for everybody. You don't need to be initiated. Anybody can chant it, even if you don't chant it perfectly. It's a prayer, so what's in your heart is most important. Did you know that? Some of you knew that, some of you didn't. Yeah. So it's really important, isn't it? It really proves what's in your heart is what's most important when you chant. Okay. Are you ready for the PowerPoint? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to go to the top. This PowerPoint is entitled How Not to Chant Japa. And I have to remove this. The subtitle, we'll remove it. Okay, these are all the things you're not supposed to do when you chant japa. Okay? So let me, slideshow, I can make this bigger. Okay, there we go. How to chant japa. How not to chant japa. Okay. This is called to-do list japa. And this devotee is thinking about making lots of money while he's chanting. But that's kind of just to make it funny. But to-do list japa means you're chanting, and what are you thinking about? Thinking about everything you have to do today. So instead of hearing the Maha Mantra, instead of praying to the Maha Mantra, you're thinking, oh, I have this homework to do. Oh, I'm going to wear these clothes. Oh, I want to have this for lunch. So you're chanting in the morning and you're planning your whole day. Have you ever done that before? Like, thinking about, I didn't finish my homework, or, I've got this test and I'm going through the test in my mind while I'm chanting, or thinking about, have you ever thought about breakfast when you're chanting japa? What are we going to have for breakfast? Hare Krishna, Hare. I like pancakes, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. I like strawberry jam on my pancakes, Krishna, Krishna. I like maple syrup also, Krishna, Krishna. So what are we meditating on when we're chanting? Pancakes, not Krishna, right? So japa is meant to be a meditation, right? And so a lot of devotees, when they're chanting, they're thinking about all the things that they have to do, all the things they didn't finish. And then there's other things we think about. We think about what we're worried about, what we're concerned. You took your test yesterday and you're chanting japa thinking, hope I got a good grade. You ever done that? I hope I did well. I don't know if I did well. I hope it Hare Krishna, Hare. I hope I got a good grade on the test. Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare, Hare Ram. And if you're Radha, she's chanting and thinking, I hope I'm number one in my class. Krishna, Krishna, Hare, 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 right? Hope I win the math competition. Rama, Rama, Hare, Hare. So, when we chant japa, we want to, I think we talked about this before, we want to, like, everything going on in our life that's not supportive of our japa, all the material things that are going on, even our service. Did you know that? Even your service, when you're chanting, if you have service, don't even think about your service. Just think about Krishna. Think about your prayer. Right? Did you know that? Even service is a distraction. Because you're supposed to be hearing and praying while you chant. Okay. Is that okay? Let's go to number 2. If you have any questions, we'll have to wait to the end because now that this is on the screen, I can't even see if you have questions. Unless I have the participant windows open, but you all have a million questions anyway, right? From last time. Okay, we'll try to get the questions. We won't necessarily try to finish this, but we'll do a few. Okay. So, now, let me see. I am stuck here. See? Oh, yeah. All right. Number 2. We call this, I hate, the artist called it I hate him japa, but that's a good name. What it means is somebody disturbed you and you're really upset. Has this ever happened to you? You're chanting japa and you're thinking about the person who upset you. And you go like, I hate him. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He's so bad. Or Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Ram. When I see him, I'm going to tell him Ram Ram how bad he is. And actually, I don't want to see him Ram Ram Hare. And you're not meditating on Krishna. You're meditating on the person that upset you. And your whole japa becomes destroyed. And instead of Krishna sitting on the throne of your heart, this person is now sitting on the throne of your heart. He's kicked Krishna out. Okay, Krishna, you come back later. Right now, I want to think about this person because I'm really upset. So now you're going to find this interesting, and maybe you have this experience. But some devotees have said that if they ever chant japa like this, when they finish their rounds, you would think they would be like peaceful, right? Like the japa would have neutralized. A lot of devotees say when they finish their rounds, they're even more angry than when they started. Isn't that strange? Because the whole time they're chanting, they're meditating on how upset they are. And the more they chant, the more upset they get. Isn't that strange? That chanting could actually be counterproductive. So what's happening is that you're not really chanting, you're really focused on this person. And the chanting has now become something in the background. And if you pull the chanting to the foreground, then you would be able to purify your anger. But sometimes we don't. Okay. All right, that's number 2. I think it's clear. It could be anything, not just I hate him. It could be an obsession with anything. I think we'll have to change this to obsessive japa. Like, let's say you really want something, and the whole time you're chanting japa, you're thinking about that thing you want. That's what obsessive means. You can't stop thinking about it. So you're thinking about something, and it's not in relation to chanting, and you're obsessed with it. Right, I'm gonna get this present for my birthday, and you're just thinking about it the whole time you're chanting. So hating is being upset is quite common, but also being obsessed about getting something or like that. Okay, So we don't have number 3. I'm not sure where it is yet, but this is number 4. This is called watering the weeds japa. And I think number 1, the example where the devotee became more angry after he finished his rounds, that's an example of watering the weeds japa. It actually becomes worse with time as he's chanting. So Prabhupada's spiritual master said that if you don't chant properly, you could be watering the weeds of other things that are not helpful for your Krishna consciousness. You could be watering the weeds of material desire. Isn't that strange? So we want to chant with devotion, otherwise material desires could become stronger. Okay, this is beat the clock japa. So you know what beat the clock japa is? Beat the clock japa is try to get your rounds done as fast as you can. Like the goal of chanting is to get your rounds done really quickly. That's beat the clock japa. So that would be something like Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama. It sounds like a car shifting gears, right? Your whole goal is not really primarily to come closer to Krishna. Your goal is to get your rounds done. Oh, I made a vow, I'm going to chant 1 round or 4 rounds, whatever, 16, whatever your vow is. And then your goal is just to get the rounds done. Your goal isn't to come closer to Krishna and develop love of Krishna. It's just to get the rounds done. Have you ever done that before? Any of you? It's late at night, you have like a round left, and it's like, it's like driving a car down the freeway, right? Okay. We have some guilty people here in the audience. Yeah. Okay, robot japa. Robot japa is something like this. I'll demonstrate. Can you all see can you see me? You can see me? Something like this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Like you're dead. You have no feeling. You're like a robot. It's just like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Of course, robots may sound different, but you're not praying. Robot is obviously it's not a person. It doesn't have any feelings. So when we chant without any feeling, we're not praying. We're not connected to the mantra. We're just chanting to get our rounds done. It's like a robot. It's mechanical. Prabhupada used the word mechanical. Mechanical means we're doing it, but we're not really connected to it. Okay, you ready for the next one? Do you do any of these? Yeah, if you do, hopefully you'll stop doing them. These are not good. Number 7, firing blank mantras. What is a blank mantra? Well, it's similar to robot japa and beat the clock japa in that you're chanting, but nothing in the heart. I think the last class we said the holy name goes in your ear, it goes in your heart, and then it comes to your mouth. Did we talk about that last class? Does anyone remember? The holy name goes in your ear, and then it goes in your heart, then it comes to your tongue. But if it doesn't go in your heart, it just goes to your tongue, then you're just saying the mantra, but it's like firing a blank bullet. It explodes, Hare Krishna, but Krishna's not really there. He's not fully present, because you're just Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, but nothing in the heart. So it sounds like Krishna, but the heart's missing. So it's not fully, it's not proper. And then we have number 8, killing time japa. Okay, I don't know if you've ever done this. Have you ever been on Facebook while you're chanting, or watching something while you're chanting, or talking while you're chanting, or distracted while you're chanting, or so in this picture he's on Facebook while he's chanting. So it's like, well, if you chant 16 rounds, it takes you about 2 hours. So it's like, well, okay. So I have 2 hours while I'm chanting, so I could, be doing something else, reading while I chant, or getting something done while I'm chanting. So when you chant, you're just supposed to chant. You're not supposed to do anything else. You're supposed to get absorbed. So that's what that is. Number 9, creative japa. Okay. Creative japa means you're chanting japa and you're thinking about all these things you could do. In this case, he's an artist. So he's actually painting, or he's thinking about painting, chanting, I could paint this way and that way. Or I've got this amazing idea. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And you go through this idea in your head while you're chanting. Or, I got this idea for a poem, or this song I'm going to do, or this skit we're going to do on Sunday. Hare Krishna. And you work out the whole thing while you're chanting. And you don't really pay attention to your chanting. You just pay attention to what you're thinking. That's called creative japa. Number 10, Novocaine japa. So Novocaine japa is similar to robotic japa, but Novocaine japa is robotic japa on steroids, which means you're chanting and you feel nothing. Like you don't feel anything. You're just chanting. And I ask you, how do you feel? And you say, I don't feel anything. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. How was your japa? I didn't feel anything. It's you could call it boredom japa. Novocaine is what you get when you go to the dentist, so you don't feel anything. You ever had Novocaine? And then they drill your teeth and then you don't feel anything. So I'm chanting Hare Krishna. What do you feel? Then you say, I don't feel anything. I feel like I wish I didn't have to chant. That's Novocaine japa. That's not good. And that Novocaine japa comes because we're not applying ourselves to chanting. We're just chanting. Get my rounds done. Okay. And number 11, driving japa, which probably is not a problem for you because you're too young to drive, but you can't concentrate when you drive, right? So the whole idea is if you want to apply this to you because you don't drive, the whole idea is we need to be able to concentrate on our japa. So if we can't concentrate, then if we're doing something else, we can't concentrate. Drive, ride a bike, whatever you're doing, right? Okay? So that is the end of our amazing PowerPoint. And we have some questions. Tosi Priya has a question. Yes.
My father also chants and drives, but he doesn't get distracted while he is driving and doing chanting.
Where does he drive? In the city or the country?
This,
A lot of traffic? A lot of traffic? If you're driving in traffic, I don't think you can concentrate on your japa so well, unless there's not a lot of traffic. If there's not a lot of traffic, you don't have to concentrate on driving. It's possible. Ask your father if he's concentrating on his japa or he's concentrating on driving. Because if there's a lot of traffic, you have to, okay.
Now can I say what I wanted to say?
Yeah, say. Yeah, sure.
That when I was seeing a video of Prabhupada, I was almost crying.
When you were what? Say that again.
When I was watching a video of Prabhupada, I was almost crying.
Oh, that's beautiful. I also cried when I first saw Prabhupada. So,
I never saw Prabhupada.
Maybe in your last life you saw him. But
yes, but now I'm 7.
You can anyway, seeing him in the video is powerful. Aradhya Gopi wants to say something.
Yeah, and the thing is, when I chant, like each morning I do 1 round every day. So what the problem is when I chant,
I get distracted and I play with my little sister.
Yeah. When you chant, you should go in a room
My
and
my
just
my dad, he like he does everything good. He makes him like a good place to sit, facing east, everything. He even like put some flames to focus, and then
okay.
if we interrupt him, he gets upset.
You should sit next to him when you chant. Okay? And just do what he does. Okay? Aradhya, you want to say something? Aradhya Gopi.
I
Yes.
wanted to say that when on the slideshow, when you said that in that picture, you said like if someone asks you how are you feeling, and then you say I'm feeling nothing, it's kind of like sleeping japa.
Yeah, it is. It's very similar. Maybe it's one stage before you fall asleep. First you get distracted, then you feel nothing, and then you fall asleep. Yeah, maybe we can call that. Yeah. Sleeping japa is another one. I have a joke. You want to hear my joke? If I'm tired and I have to chant my rounds and I sit down and close my eyes, I tell my wife, wake me up when I finish my rounds. Because sometimes if you're tired and you close your eyes, Krishna, Krishna, you're going to fall asleep. Right? Bhakti wants to say something. I'm calling on some people who haven't said anything yet. Yes, Bhakti.
I got a question.
Okay.
That why we do japa like sleeping japa? Why we do sleeping japa?
You can't actually do sleeping japa. That was a joke. Although, if you're a pure bhakti, if you're a pure devotee, you could chant while you're sleeping. Pure devotees always chanting. Okay.
One time at night, I was trying to do 20-20 rounds.
Really?
Time to sleep. I was in bed. I was lying on the pillow, and I was chanting. My dad left, and I fell asleep from my japa. And then the next morning, I saw my beads out of my japa.
Yeah, you're amazing. You are amazing. Okay.
So now when I just like I make sure to do my japa like in the morning because we have a routine. We go to the bathroom, we make a shower, and then after the shower we make japa. So I don't make more than one so that I don't fall asleep again.
Yeah. Don't chant japa when you're tired. It's not a good idea. Yes, yes. Veda, you want to speak? The Vedas are going to speak now.
Prabhu, when we saw the slides that said robotic chanting and the steroid chanting, or like the numb chanting, how do you get out of that? Because I kind of face that sometimes, that you're just chanting and you just don't feel anything, or you just, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things you can do, but when you're in that, you have to stop and you have to reframe. So you can remind yourself and say, okay, what am I doing now? Like, why am I chanting? What's the goal of this? What is the value of it? How should it be done? You can also reflect on ways you can appreciate the holy name, because the more you appreciate it, the less robotic it's going to be. And it's really a question of catching yourself, stopping it. I just made a video the other day. I was making this point in class, that in your life, sometimes when you're doing something wrong, you have to see it like a scene, like you're producing a movie, and you go, cut, let's do that scene over again. It's like, that was wrong. I'm chanting wrong. Okay, cut. Okay, what's wrong? And then let's say I'm the producer, and you're all actors and actresses, I say, well, you're supposed to say it this way, and then you came in too soon, and then you left too soon, so let's redo the scene. So it's like kind of like that. Okay, my job is bad. Cut. Okay, what's going wrong? Okay, I'm supposed to be, all the things that we're learning in this class. Anything that we've learned in any of the classes, at that point, you just bring in and remember, and that it's meant to bring you to the point where you feel fortunate to be able to chant. You feel like this is a great opportunity. This is very special. So if you can appreciate, well, I'm very fortunate. I have the holy name. Appreciation brings emotion. What we did today, thinking, okay, Krishna, I'm talking to you. What do I want to ask you? Or even sometimes, what can be the most simple is just praying that, Krishna, I'm completely bored right now. Can you help me? Can you give me a taste? So sometimes, just in the middle of that, the very problem you have, it could be any one of those 10 problems we went through, the very problem you have, you can ask, Krishna, can you help me with this? I'm mad at this person, and I can't stop thinking about them when I chant. Can you help me? Can you help me? Krishna, I'm not tasting anything. I'm just trying to finish my rounds as fast as I can. Can you help me? And Krishna will help you.
Sometimes when I do that, like I'm asking him for things, like, could you help me do this? Could you help me do that? Sometimes I feel like it's like, I don't know, I'm being ungrateful, just always asking him for everything, even though it's like, can you help me to pay more attention or something? I don't know, sometimes.
No, he likes it actually.
Okay.
Because if you look at the prayers of any great devotee, it's always like that. Because it's like if I'm saying to you, can you help me serve you better? And you'll think, oh, okay, you want to serve me. Krishna likes that because he sees that you're interested in him and coming closer to him. And see, the other thing is like, well, who are you going to turn to anyway? There's no one else to turn to. So even the pure devotees pray like that because they know that they're dependent on him, that he holds it. The attraction for Krishna, ultimately Krishna holds it. And he can give it. Krishna, you have it. You could give it to me. And then you might get some revelation that Krishna is saying, well, I'm not giving it for this reason. You have to be this or be that, then I'll give it to you. Sometimes he'll speak to you that way. So that you shouldn't, anything that's going to help your bhakti, you should freely pray for it without any guilt whatsoever. That's completely proper.
Thank you.
You know that Prabhupada prayed to the deities that he wouldn't fall down. So, it's basically like saying, Krishna, please help me so I don't forget you. Please help me so I can always serve you, like that. Because we have a tendency to fall. So we need his help. And he's happy to help. That's different. But if say, Krishna, help me, become a famous this or that because that'll make me, really happy. That's totally different. So I think we've gone overtime. You got 7-minute free bonus today. But I think we could go. I think we could go. We could go for another hour, but we're going to have to end now. Save your question, Radha, or you can send me a WhatsApp message or.
It's just a really good question. Did he draw those pictures?
There's a devotee in Scotland, a British devotee in Scotland named Adhoktaja Krishna. He drew them.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a good artist.
So just one very quick question. So why in the slideshow was there like a person with a bead bag that said "Rest in Peace"? Like with the name chanted.
Because he was about to fall asleep.
Oh, like rest in peace.
He was about to wake me up when I finish my rounds.
And also, will you please send this slideshow?
Maybe. I have to think about what I'm going to do with it. I might have to save it, but maybe I'll send it. Ask me again next week.
Can I ask a question?
One last question, then we go. Okay.
Prabhuji, means I have means from small. I have gotten habit of chanting japa means in my mind only means it does
Yeah.
not reach to my ears. But my parents always prefer me to do loudly. So what should I do? Means I've got an habit. So I try to do it, but I am not able to do it.
All right. Well, at least if you can't, can you whisper? Did you try that? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Sometimes,
Prabhuji. Means
Try-
sometimes japa should come from our tongue and reach to our ears and our heart, right?
Yeah, that's generally how to do it. If you can at least whisper, move your lips, try that. If you can only chant in your mind, then what can be done? It's a very elevated way of chanting, actually, to chant in your mind, if you can actually do it. Okay, we're going to go now. Nice to see you.
I
Rona.
have a question.
Next week, next month, you can ask the question. Okay,
Why?
because I have to go now, Karuna. Karuna, I think you could ask questions all day, right? Bye. We'll see you next month, okay?
Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Welcome, Haribo.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Jai
Thank you,
Prabhupada.
thank you, bye.
Oh, Premanandi, Hari Haribo.
Hare 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 Bol.